Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Charles Glidden.
Open line. Time for us to chat about what's going on in Cayman. What's on your mind? Pick up the phone and give me a ring. Talk Today's next. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Talk Today. I'm Charles Glidden. Thanks for tuning in. It's Friday. Yes, it is. So congratulate yourself. You've made it through another week, and people are running around trying to wrap up things that they didn't get to. Always a lot of traffic, lunchtime on a Friday. But since you made it through another week, maybe you want to treat yourself to something special for lunch, right? Get maybe sneaking a little extra time there before you get back to work. Well, I had a very enjoyable evening yesterday with my daughter. Yeah. I went to Jaden Hanna's concert. That is one of the final performances of this year's Cayman Arts Festival. We went to her performance down at the Harkwell. And if you missed it, well, I guess you missed a very good show, actually. But, some solid music there. It was just an hour, but her performance took you on a real musical journey. She opened up with a rapping song, which kind of surprised me. She came out all dressed very elegantly, and then started rapping. And I sort of, I thought maybe like some kind of Brixton kind of rap. But it was a very good show because she had some surprises in there. She, like I say, she started off rapping, then went on to some tender love songs, you know, about being hurt and then standing up for yourself and, you know, taking care of yourself. And she went from, you know, some Barrington Levy to Etta James, closing with Elton John, you know, plus her own music. Yeah, she had a few of her own original songs in there, so it was quite enjoyable. And she was born and raised right here in Grand Cayman, so you know it was really nice to know that somebody just you know, growing up here, born here. And you could tell she had some special fans in the audience. Like, you know, there was a very enthusiastic group there that probably knew her from, you know, when she was living in Cayman, growing up in Cayman. So that was certainly lovely. And one of the lovely things about it, I must say, is, you know, a dad and, you know, a senior citizen now. It's nice to have a daughter to take you to something like that, right? That was a real treat. Yeah. But the Cayman Arts Festival, and in particular K Musica, who's the entity that does the festival, is, you know, very much into education about music and, you know, and going through the program in the back, I came across something that gave my daughter Chanda and I a few chuckles, because it had a page here on concert etiquette. So they were, you know, passing on a little education about how to conduct yourself at, especially a classical concert, you know. And, you know, classical music can go from, you know, very, 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 very soft and up to a crescendo and very loud, but you can have some very, very quiet moments in classical music. Gosh, this writing is so small, I got to take off my glasses. But yes, this is it says concert etiquette. It says, although not all of K Musica's concerts involve classical music, most of them do. Unlike concerts of other genres, there are different rules of etiquette for classical concerts. And the etiquette guidelines below, which are relatively standard in the classical music world, are in place to show respect to both the musicians and other concert goers and maximize enjoyment. And number one on the list is, of course, arrive and take your seat before the concert begins. Yes, I know some people need to be reminded of that, right? You get to your seat before the concert begins. And then it says, and then remain seated. Remain seated until the intermission or the end of concert. If you absolutely must exit before then, try to do so during the applause. Turn off your phone or put it on silent. Then put it in your pocket or purse until you exit the performance. Don't look at your phone, even if it's on silent, because the screen light could distract others in the audience. Do not talk or even whisper to others during the performance, except during applause. Applaud only after the movements of an entire piece have been played. The concert program might indicate which pieces have multiple movements, and the musician might indicate this as well. Just because a musician stops playing for a moment or two does not mean the piece is complete. If in doubt, watch the musicians. They will usually give you an indication when a piece is complete. And here's one for you. don't eat or chew gum. No gum chewing. At least that makes any noise at all during a classical concert. Fight the urge to cough until there is applause or in between musical pieces. And if you have children who might have trouble staying still and quiet during a concert, please consider leaving them home. Yeah. So that's how to conduct yourself at a concert, a classical concert, it's to make sure that you and everybody there enjoy it. All right, time to take a little break here. I'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
If you're looking for something to do this Ash Wednesday, February 18th, the Agriculture Show is the place to be. The show will take place from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. in Lower Valley with food, culture, farming, and fun for the whole family. Great vibes, great people, and prizes up for grabs all day long. Check out Cayman Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram for everything you need to know about the annual 57th Annual Agriculture Show.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And yes, it is open line here. Numbers to call, 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo. And you can also reach us on 949-8037 or 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp us. The WhatsApp number is 925-3261. You can drop us a message or give us a call there. And a couple other events that we've talked about during the week that's happening this weekend. I hope you weren't planning on going and didn't get tickets yet, because the flamenco dance that's like the finale for the Arts Festival, that's sold out from what I understand. And also the Bluff, we talked about a preview of Frankie Flowers' new film, the Bluff, that actually it's free. That's gone too. All seats have been taken for that. So I'm not sure about the BRAC, but certainly Grand Cayman is sold out from what I've heard. People snap them up real quick, in like a blink of an eye. Well, Valentine's Day's tomorrow, huh? I guess you got big plans, right? If you want to send out some Valentine's greetings today, send me a WhatsApp, give me a call. You can I'll put you on the air and you can send out your own Valentine's greetings. But maybe what kind of Valentine's greetings would you send to the whole Cayman? Anybody want to take a shot at that? What can we wish all the people out there? But if you want to send it to a special person, that's okay too. Or you can drop me a WhatsApp and I'll read it for you, okay? So, I'd asked listeners to give me a little help in what I could do for my lady on Valentine's Day. And, well, I didn't get much help, actually. But I got one lady called. And she said, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Make breakfast for your wife, and go for a drive. Yeah. So, that sounds pretty good. So, maybe breakfast in bed. Yeah. Breakfast in bed. This is on me. That's not a good rendition of that song. But you remember that song from way back? Was it Lorna Bennett? Yeah, boy, that was a jamming song though. Yeah, and sweet music, sweet. that was a good one. Yeah, that was big hit. So that's a good idea. Breakfast in bed on Valentine's Day, and. What else is around the place? What else would you like to talk about? Let's see here. What do we got? I see here, we often talk about the growth of Cayman and how things just in the last 10 years, the last 5 years, how much growth we've had. In Grand Cayman in particular, the number of buildings that have gone up, apartment buildings, the population. We're now knocking on the door of 100,000 people residing in the Cayman Islands. If we haven't passed it, maybe we have opened that door and gone across the threshold. But we sometimes hear people expressing concern about the pace of growth, how much has happened, in so quick a time. And what we have experienced here in Cayman, sometimes it takes some places, years and years to do. But things have moved rapidly in the Cayman Islands as far as growth. And it looks like it's going to continue. Now, here's a sign of the times and a sign of the future is what I'm thinking. If you saw a story in the Compass today, it says Kirk Home Center gets green light for $3.5 million expansion plan. What's that say? Now, I don't think they are going to be doing that kind of investment without some real solid research as to what is going to be going on in Cayman in the next 5-10 years. And they're seeing growth. For them to make that kind of investment, a $3.5 million expansion to the current home center, that includes 208 more parking spaces. They see future growth in the Cayman Islands as continuing apace, because look at what they sell, right? Things for homes, businesses, just consumer items generally. And when you see a business making that kind of investment, they have good data that is indicating that the opportunity is there for more sales and more revenue, but you need the space, you need the inventory to be able to service that kind of population. So it doesn't look like things are going to be slowing down anytime soon, and we will continue to grow if this sort of thing can be taken as an indicator. And I think it is an indicator of what the future holds, because businesses of this size, of this caliber, they make calculated decisions on what the possibilities are before they're going to be going and sinking millions of dollars into investing and expanding the business. I mean, the present Kirk Home Center has been there now for, gosh, how long? A long time. And now they're seeing the need to expand. But Cayman, we were talking yesterday that certain people see the future Cayman as being, the Hong Kong of the Caribbean. That's we're looked at as a future Hong Kong by people who make their money by seeing what the future is going to bring and making their moves accordingly. What will that be like? Our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, what kind of Cayman are they going to be growing up in? I mean, we talk about the cultural shock that we have now, especially for people that are, say, in the senior range, that still have memories of Cayman from, the 60s, the 50s even, and what we live in today. It's quite dramatic if you are able to compare Cayman from 1960 even, and compare it to what is happening here today, what we see around us. It is a culture shock, because sometimes it just doesn't match up with what your memories are of a certain area that maybe you haven't gone into a certain district or a certain area in a long while, and then you go there and it's like, when did this happen? It was like, this was not like this the last time I came down this road. And especially if you don't get out a lot, if you are, like I said, a senior person, maybe, you're not getting around town the way you used to. And then, you go for a drive someplace and it's like, when did this come? And what kind of building is that? A totally different looking place. And even, I remember just driving out toward Prospect, as you go past the Lions Center. And if you're looking straight ahead, I was used to, as you went up toward the Grand Harbor roundabout, there was nice sky view. And then one day I realized the sky view had gone because there were some condos now down on the seaside, and as you drive up on Shamrock Road, go past Lions Center toward Grand Harbor, when you look out there, you're looking at an apartment building. No more sky. It's 15 minutes running up to 1 o'clock, and that means we got to take a break. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Let's hear it for your Wildcat cheerleaders.
Aunt Angie, weren't you a cheerleader?
The best in the Western Hemisphere, until I attempted that switch kick double twist roundhouse.
Huh?
Exactly. I must have been in the air for 20 seconds before I fell into that snare drum. I set a world record, though, and thankfully I could trust the CG Medical Portal with my claims. All 37 of them.
The CG Medical Portal. Safe and secure. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
This February, experience the rhythm, passion, and power of live performance at the Cayman Arts Festival, February 5th to the 14th at the Hartwell Theatre. From electrifying sounds of the Jazz Entrance Big Band to the inspiring brilliance of the Youth Camerata with international guest artists, the festival celebrates music across generations. Feel the energy as Cayman's Future Phobia teams up with the Netherlands' all-female rock band, The Royals. Be moved by the soulful artistry of Jade and Hannah and end the festival with the fiery intensity of Miguel Vargas Flamenco Dance Theatre. 5 unforgettable nights, 1 extraordinary festival, February 5th to the 14th. Tickets available now. Visit CaymanArtsFestival.com or call 922-5550.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And still calling for you to, if you want to get in some Valentine's greetings, you're welcome to, give us a ring or go on the WhatsApp and send out a nice Valentine's Day greeting. What do you say? I know we had a call some time ago. They were wondering what the status was on the results of the referendum on the decriminalization of cannabis and the national lottery. Well, the government has issued an update, and this decriminalization and establishment of a national lottery is still with the law reform. It says, having nearly completed the review, the Law Reform Commission will next develop a public consultation paper. So don't look for that to be brought to Parliament or anything like in the next couple of months. They've actually laid out a schedule, a timetable, which of course is not set in stone either. So they're going to have public consultation is expected to begin in the middle of this year, and then depending on what the outcomes and resourcing, the final report is expected at the end of 2026. So by the end of this year, we should get a final report from the Law Reform Commission as to how to go about with this. So I don't know whether when they say public consultation, especially since this was had a positive result from the referendum that was held on decriminalizing ganja and putting a national lottery in place. I guess this is a more detailed thing about how to go about doing this, because it's not, ganja will not be legal. Remember that. It's not a legalization. They're just not making it, like a felony, that you're going to have a criminal record that if you get caught smoking ganja or in possession, you still would face some kind of charge. And I guess maybe one of the things that they want to consult now with people is like, how serious a charge is it, going to be something like a speeding ticket, a parking ticket, that you just pay a little fine and go on with your life? Is it going to be, a $50 fine, a $500 fine? And I guess the big marker is that it's, not going to be criminal, because I know that's something that happened to a lot of young people that got their lives messed up by, they got caught. Otherwise, they were good citizens, but they just happened to get caught with, enough ganja that for personal use, you might say. But that, of course, is against the law at the time, and even now. So they actually had a criminal record once they were convicted in a court. And that blocks a lot of opportunity as far as being able to go overseas for education, of course, even getting a job, because there's always that question on a job application, at least most of them: have you ever been convicted of a crime? You put yes, maybe you can talk your way around that. And of course, if you put no and then it's found out later that you do have a criminal record, I guess that's even worse in some cases, because now you lied on a job application. And that makes the employer look at you even worse if you had said, yes, I was charged with possession of, a little bit of ganja. So that's the schedule of this thing. A discussion paper is expected to be developed by mid-2026. Then later this year, the public consultation, that's going to be taking place right after the report, the discussion paper is put out, and a final report is expected to be completed later this year, I guess toward the end of the year, in the last quarter. And then things would move on, and it would be brought to Parliament. But it doesn't look like, and this is for both things, by the way. This is for both the National Lottery and decriminalizing ganja in consuming and possessing small amounts. So both of those should have some kind of direction, that we know what's being recommended by the Law Reform Commission, and then it would be brought to Parliament, and so remember the actual outcomes from that referendum. Over just a little over 55% of the voters supported decriminalizing consumption and possession of small amounts of cannabis, and just a little over 51% supported introducing a national lottery. That'll be an interesting thing if we do have a national lottery. I know at one time, back about 10, 13 years ago, there was a serious consideration of it. A consultant was brought in to look at it, and he ran numbers and made his report. And the cost of what you would have to put into running a national lottery and the possible revenue from the then population didn't seem to be worth it. Well, we've got a lot more people now than even just 10, 15 years ago. So maybe the actual revenue that would be generated would be more meaningful. But I know back then it was seen as it was just going to the net profit off of it after you pay all your expenses was not going to be that great. We have a caller on the line, so let's check in with them. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, fellow.
Yes, how's it going?
Okay, man.
What's up today?
Concerning the referendums.
Yeah.
When they say decriminalize marijuana, what exactly is that?
My interpretation of that is that right now, if you get caught with a small amount of ganja, say even just one spliff, or just a small portion of ganja, that's a crime. You have a criminal record. What this is talking about, decriminalization, is more like getting a traffic ticket. It's still an offense, but it's not a criminal offense. Understand what I mean? It's like getting a speeding ticket. Like nobody's gonna you're still gonna be able to get a passport, you still be able to travel, but you don't have that brand of being a criminal.
Yeah, that's good, man. Especially for the young people, because when you're young, you make mistakes,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
but except for that, you're a good person, right? You just one of those things that you happen to be doing at the wrong time, wrong thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend legalizing it.
That would be going too far.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, man. I smoked enough ganja for the whole world. And I can tell you the truth. That's not something you want to be encouraging other young people to do.
Mm. Yeah, well,
it's not the worst.
I would hope that it's going to be something along the lines of liquor, where you have to be like over 18 or over 21, whatever, in order to be able to go, because you're going to go buy it from someone, right?
Yeah. One draw off a spliff.
Mm-hmm.
Not even smoking a whole spliff. One draw off a spliff is plenty. But one thing about marijuana, it's not as bad as prescription drugs.
Well, I've heard that
you get
said
from the
many of
drugstore.
times. Listen, I got to go to the news. You want to hang on?
Okay.
Okay, I got to break away, go to the news. Hang in there. We'll be
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. Applications are open for the 2026 internship and scholarship programs offered by the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facilities Segregated Portfolio Company, or CCRIF SPC, targeting future leaders in disaster risk management and climate resilience across the region. Postgraduate scholarships of up to $11,000 and undergraduate awards of $8,000 are available in fields such as disaster risk management, climate change, meteorology, and environmental science, along with a 10-week regional internship program that runs from July to December 2026 and includes a stipend, certification, and placements with regional organizations. The deadline for all programs is June 14th, 2026, and details, applications, and contact info are available via ccrif.org and technical assistance at ccrif.org. In international news, Germany's chancellor says the post-war rules-based international order has effectively collapsed, warning Europe must prepare for a harsher era of great power rivalry. Opening the Munich Security Conference, Friedrich Merz says our freedom is not guaranteed, pointed to a deep divide within the United States under President Donald Trump over tariffs and Greenland, and urged a reset of transatlantic trust even as Europe weighs its own nuclear deterrent. Meanwhile, Africa's leaders are grappling with the same shifting world order as they meet in Addis Ababa to debate how the continent can secure a seat at the table, not on the menu. Analysts warn that without a coordinated continental strategy, states risk weaker bargaining power and missed opportunities in trade, investment, and security. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands.
James Nathaniel Tibbetts, J.P., 1886 to 1967. Mr. Nat Tibbetts was a renowned shipbuilder, businessman, justice of the peace, and citizen of Kemembrak. He was loved and respected throughout the island and was often consulted by people facing crucial decisions and difficulties. With his father, James Tibbetts, and his brothers, Burdett and Ross, he built and sold 11 sailing ships during the early 1900s. After losing his right arm in his mid-40s due to fish bristle infection and the death of his brothers, Mr. Knott operated a store and pioneered in the production of soft drinks, supplying all 3 Cayman Islands for almost 25 years. His plantations provided employment for others and provisions for his and his brother's family. Mr. Knott was a role model for his sons and other young men of the community, teaching them, along with the principles of carpentry, boat building, navigation, and seamanship, a good work ethic and the value of respect and perseverance. He and his beloved wife, Elsie Nee Hunter, with whom he had 7 children, set high standards for their family by emphasizing a Christian lifestyle.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's take a quick look at the weather. It's 80 degrees with winds coming out of the east-northeast at 11.5 knots. And the forecast calls for a cloudy afternoon, and this evening and tonight, fair skies with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 knots and seas running at 3 to 5 feet, which they say would be moderate. So only moderate seas. And is our caller still on the line? We still have a caller. Hi, you still there?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so you were saying before we had to go to the news, you know, that you would certainly not want it to become legal. When we're talking about ganja, because even smoking one spliff is bad.
Yeah, one draw of a spliff is plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Much less smoking a whole spliff. So smoking 3 or 4 or 5 spliffs a day is definitely too much. But when it comes to prescription drugs, they are the most dangerous drugs in the world. The withdrawals from those kind of drugs are very dangerous.
So you're talking about
it's
like
harder to come off with.
Painkillers and stuff like that?
Yes, that you get from the pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
The withdrawals from these drugs are way worse than any other drug that you can buy off the street. I know a person who used to use cocaine, and they were prescribed prescription drugs. And they said that the withdrawals from the prescription drugs are way worse than the withdrawals from the cocaine.
Yeah, well, it's well known that people can become addicted to painkillers. It's like you say, it becomes a real struggle to stop taking it.
Yeah, and the doctors know this. But it's all a big money racket. My son passed away last year, September, from a heart attack.
Mm.
That was caused from prescription drugs that he was taking for depression and anxiety.
Wow.
So the doctors know the serious negative effects of these drugs.
But was that the result of some kind of autopsy that you got that report that's what caused his death?
Well, I really don't want to speak any more concerning that, but what I just said to you is correct.
And this was just for depression.
Yeah, depression and anxiety.
Well, if you see the ads for prescription drugs on TV, and my goodness, there's a lot of ads for them now. You know, they say the good that they can do you, and I'm sure they do a lot of good. But then there's always side effects, and you know that list of side effects can be rather long, and some of them actually you go through this list, and at the end they say and even death. So yeah, you know there's that risk of having a serious adverse effect by taking prescription drugs, because you know not every human being is alike. Sometimes it just doesn't work for that person.
Yeah, that's why the government has to realize that when it comes to the cost of living and our young people are wiser, but they're weaker. They're not able to handle certain things the way that we are able to. So when it comes to the cost of living that has gone so high now in Cayman, that things now are so far out of reach for our young people to accomplish in life, such as buying a piece of land, building a home, and paying off a mortgage. These kind of things will cause stress, depression, and anxiety. And the last thing we want or need is our young people being on prescription drugs to battle these kind of things. That's why the government has to be serious when it comes to the cost of living. We vote them in there and give them the power to control these kind of things. And we pay them a lot of money to do so.
Did you see what the premier had to say about that the other day? That was,
no, I really didn't hear what he...
Well, he was saying that, you know, the cost of living is something that he wants to address, starting with the cost of energy, electricity, you know.
Well, they have to stop talking about it and do something. They've been talking about this for quite a while now, and nothing has been done. And when it comes to lottery, that's another thing they don't want in Cayman. That's another addiction.
Well, that's
another
a lot of people
now.
hold that view.
Yeah, that's a serious addiction, gambling.
I mean, it is buying
and people
numbers.
in Cayman now. Yes. And people in Cayman now are so desperate to get extra money in their hands. They would spend their last $5 on buying a lottery ticket. And that is one addiction that you do not want Caymanians to start having. Because there are many people around the world who have lost millions of dollars off of gambling.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm sure there are.
Yeah, so this lottery, legalizing this lottery in order to try to stop people from buying numbers is a bunch of nonsense.
But I think it's also aimed at taking away the criminal element that runs the numbers game. You know, taking that away from them. But listen, I got someone else that's been hanging on for about the last 15 minutes also. So thank you so much for your input. Have a good one. And we have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, are you there?
Yes, hello. Good afternoon, man.
Yes, how are you?
Why, I have to congratulate my friend. You know, he really touched on some good points of life there, you know, my friend.
Mm-hmm. You feel pretty much the same way?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I have to defend what he was talking about, the man. You know, if I was asked to vote for either one of them, I wouldn't vote for none of them.
But did you vote on it in the election?
Huh?
Did you vote in the last election last year?
I didn't get to vote for the last election, although I changed my residence, you know, and time caught up on me, you know. So.
Oh, okay. You got caught up.
I lost that chance. I'm in Red Bay now. I hope I am in Red Bay. That's what they tell me. So.
You heard our big discussion about Red Bay, right?
Yeah, man. But anyway, Chalo, speaking of the case with the ganja business, you know.
Uh-huh.
I smoked ganja for a long, long time, Chalo. And certain companies that I used to be in, you know, would tell me there's nothing wrong with it. It don't have no nicotine in it. And I found it to be just like alcohol. From the time you take one draw off a split, especially if that's good herb. Well, I don't know nothing about good herb. But from the time you take one draw off a split, it's just like if you take a beer, you're not the same person again.
So when you say that, well, you compared it to a beer,
right?
One drink or one smoke, right, and you're addicted.
It starts to talk to you, telling you all kind of things. Have another one of me. One draw is not good enough. Finish the whole split. Telling you all kind of nonsense, Shadow. That's what I find after years, 30 years of burning herb. You understand? From the hills, the mountains in Jamaica, right down to Cayman Islands.
So, but do you think whether it's liquor or ganja, it depends on the person and their personality, their mentality, whether they're going to fall victim of being addicted to it or not? I mean, a lot of people have a beer, but they're not alcoholics, right?
Well, nothing like that really crossed my mind. I wasn't thinking about nothing about no addiction in them times. I was just burning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I liked the way it made me feel.
Yeah.
I like to eat, and I like to laugh. In those times, that's what mostly we burnt the herb. That's what we were getting out of it. And like I said, though, it starts to talk to you, telling you all kind of foolishness. You understand? Right now, Jalo, I won't lie about it. I have a COPD. Is it going to kill me? I don't know. But I'm breathing the breath of life every day, much better. Mm-hmm. After 3 years.
You quit cigarettes and all that, right?
Oh, listen, man. Yes, all that, the same thing. Smoking is smoking. But I'm breathing better.
Okay.
Than I were since 2022.
Mm-hmm.
That I had to stop it.
Yeah.
Because on my last job, I could have had a heart attack. I could have had a stroke. So the fear of having those things, Chalo, is why I said goodbye to smoking.
Brooches.
It was hard. It was hard, you know. It's not easy, you know, my friend. But I prefer life today than to just die by heart attacks. Well, I don't know. That could happen. It happens to people that don't even smoke myself. So, but if I can avoid it by stop smoking, I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did, Chalo, because breath is something I realize today that should be free and nice
and
every 24 hours.
Should be easy to breathe, right?
Right, Chalo, I know today when you're not getting 100% air in your lungs from a deep breath, okay? Everybody takes a deep breath. But when you're not getting 100% air in your lungs, Chalo, it don't feel good, my friend. It don't feel good. Because, I told you the other day, I have medical issues. And I remember when my breath was so strong, when I was singing, my breath was so strong. And I shouldn't have been smoking when I was singing either. Because any song that I sang under the influence of a smoke of herb, that felt so good to me, sounded so good to me, right? The way I look at it today, Chalo, could have sounded better.
Yeah.
If I was sober. You understand? But I won't worry about it anymore. It happened. It's gone. I give God thanks for being alive, that I can talk about it and probably help somebody, especially young people, not to walk that road. Not to walk that road. You understand? Yeah. Because a cigarette in one hand and a beer in the next hand, or a spliff, that don't make you a man. You may think so, but it don't make you a man. You understand? And you just...
Well, I'm really glad you could put those issues behind you, Robert.
Hey, man, Shadow, I don't have no money, but I have life, and I'm living good today.
That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, let me tell you.
And I can tell, your whole outlook on life is a positive one now.
Yeah, Chalo, I didn't plan to call in today. I like to listen sometimes too. But this kind of conversation, I have to get involved in it because I pass through these things. And
yeah, sure.
I mentioned that yesterday, talking about the narcotics and the alcohol in your nation. How can you have a healthy nation of young people, especially, with these things circulating in the island? You understand?
Well, certainly,
all I can do is say something about it, but I don't have no power to really change that. You understand?
Yeah. I mean, in a case like alcohol, our drinking age is 18. It used to be that way in a lot of the states in America too, until they made a federal drinking age of 21. Then that was a lot of that was due to the pressure that was brought by that organization, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. But there's so much scientific evidence that people's brains are not 100% developed until you are about 21, 22 years old. And if you're drinking a lot or taking drugs at a young age, the development of your brain is being affected.
I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Science, talking about the brain, a really developed thing. I don't know. What I do know is...
That's what the evidence says. 21 years. It is interesting that was chosen when a person is supposed to be an adult, 21, right? But that's when the brain has really finished developing, right around in that age.
But to me, that really sounds like trouble, though. Like you're really encouraging, especially the young people, to do this.
No, I'm
right?
encouraging. I'm just saying that, right now our drinking age is 18, and the brain has not fully developed yet. Still got a few years to go before it completely has developed to the full extent that it will. And if you go and you are getting drunk at 18 years old, smoking, doing drugs, but what we have that is legal is alcohol, and we're saying that 18-year-olds, it's okay to go and drink, but that 18-year-old can go and really lay one on and get soused, and their brain is not yet fully developed, and drinking high amounts of alcohol will affect the brain.
Yeah, but that's all true, Chalo, because I remember, man, the problems that I had with those chemicals in my teenage years, mostly in my teenage years, right? The problems I had. My brother used to tell me one time that I was suffering from an inferior complex, and I didn't understand what he meant then, but I know what he meant today. I reached that age. I know what he was talking about then. You understand? And it was true. It was true. I just couldn't handle it, man, from the beginning. But I was addicted, and I carried on until I reached 71 or 72. I'm going in 7 years, and I feel happy that I stopped.
That's great, Robert. That's great.
I stopped. It takes, Chalo, man, it takes some strength to do it,
Mm-hmm.
And like your previous caller was talking about, man, the young people, up to this morning I was thinking about them, boy, they do really stand a chance in Cayman Islands here, do it. I can only pray for them. That's all I could do. But
I've heard young people say, how hard it is to, get a foot up on that ladder that we have to climb in life.
What my brethren was saying is that they're not really physically strong like us. When it comes to physical, they'll probably fall quicker than we did. So, this morning I passed a young man down at Hurley's, and Shadow, the way he spoke to me, right? Right away I could hear the manners.
Yeah.
And good bringing up from a good family, Shadow. Right away I can tell it, the way he.
Sure, the way he
said
carried
hello
himself,
to me.
the way he addressed you.
Yes, Chalo. I can tell it all the time, and I can say today, Cayman got some good youth, because I do meet enough of them out there.
Yeah, we got some good youth.
And let me tell you, I talk to them, Chalo, and I believe some of them hear what I'm saying too about these chemicals and things like that.
Oh yeah,
they destroy your life, and they are designed to kill you. Sooner or later, you're going to die with heart attacks or something like that. Yeah, I don't want to share it with them, man. I feel like it's my duty to do now as an elder, because I had elders that talk to me like that too, even though I didn't hear what they say. I listened to them though, but I didn't hear what they say.
Yeah.
You understand?
You listen, But you listen, but you didn't hear. Yeah, well, Robert, always nice to hear from you, and I'm glad for you that even if it was late in life, it's great that you turned your life around. But I got to break away, so you have a great afternoon. You hear?
Yeah, man. Okay.
Take care. It's 1:30. I'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands.
50 years of music.
This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
50 years of life. We are the rhythm of the city.
Radio Cayman.
Hey, new drivers. Don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Here's a WhatsApp message. And let's see, are they taking a different view on this? Okay. Why is alcohol legal? If it wasn't available, then there wouldn't be problems. Beer is not the problem, it's people. The man caller lived to 65 with his habits. Hold on. That WhatsApp just touched something and I lost it. Okay, here we go. Why is alcohol legal? If it wasn't available, then there wouldn't be any problems. Beer is not the problem, it's people. That man caller lived to 65 with his habits. I think he's 71, I think he said. Herb should be legal for those who can handle it. It's not for everyone. The worst part of this is that herb is illegal, so the conversation for it is not happening. I would like to tell my story, but it's not happening. I recently went back to school. I take care of my family. Okay. So that's a different point of view there from that caller, or from that WhatsApp message rather. And let's see another WhatsApp message here. On a different subject. Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. I indulge with a little kitchen gardening in my backyard, and this is the result of the wild chickens. And he sent a picture of, I don't know what kind of fruit or vegetable that is, but he says this is the result of the wild chickens. I guess they picked the fruit and was eating it. The chickens are a nuisance, so I'm in support of culling. I understand the tourist fascination, but they go home to abundance of food while we are left food insecure. So, okay, let's not bother with that one. Ay, ay, ay. You get some strange messages sometimes. They're not really messages at all. Another listener sent me a link. It was a link to the story in the Cayman Independent. It was by J. Hart. Yeah. Good old Jay. Used to work here. And the headline is, Cayman Islands ranked second in Global Cost of Living Index. Not many people are surprised, I bet. There's a story in the Cayman Independent. It says the Cayman Islands has been ranked as the second most expensive jurisdiction in the world according to the latest 2026 Global Cost of Living Index. It sits only behind Bermuda, surpassing traditionally high-cost nations such as Switzerland, Singapore, Iceland, and Norway. So Bermuda is number 1 and we're number 2. The ranking is based on a relative indicator of consumer goods prices, including groceries, restaurants, transportation, and utilities. To calculate these scores, all jurisdictions are measured against a central benchmark, New York City, which is assigned a value of 100. And if you've ever been to New York City, that's not a cheap place to be. That's where you have rent control and all of that. So Cayman's score, remember, New York City is 100. They're saying Cayman's score of 115.6 indicates that the cost of living in the islands is about 15% higher than in New York City, excluding rent. Other Caribbean neighbors appearing in the top 10 include the U.S. Virgin Islands, which placed third at 111.3, and the Bahamas, which ranked sixth with a score of 98.8. The indices are compiled by collecting thousands of data points on prices for consumer goods. And for island jurisdictions like us, the cost, and this is no surprise either, the costs are often driven by high reliance on imported goods and energy cost. That's pretty much the reason behind prices in the Cayman Islands and places like us. A rent index, which evaluates the average cost of renting apartments in a city compared to New York City, saw Cayman is second with a score of 76.1. The combined cost of living plus rent index sees Cayman with a score of 97.9, meaning it is very similar to living in New York City. In the groceries index, Cayman is ranked third overall with a score of 124, meaning 24% higher than New York City, that is right. The restaurants index, we've got a lot of them here, some pretty good ones. The restaurants index compares the prices of meals and beverages in restaurants and bars between a given city and New York City, reflecting dining out experiences. The islands sit at sixth place with a score of 101.5, meaning eating out is a similar price to New York City. Cayman ranks 7th in the local purchasing power subcategory. And the local purchasing power subcategory indicates relative purchasing power of residents in a city based on the average net salary. It has a score of 149.6, which means people living in Cayman can generally afford to spend nearly 50% more on goods and services than those in New York City. That's an interesting one. So yeah, we're second in the world. Bermuda is leading the most expensive places, and there were other Caribbean islands too, ranked in the top 10. I think Barbados was one of them. We do have a caller on the line. What's up, caller? Let's take that call on the WhatsApp. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, did you want to wait? I can start talking.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, now I'm getting an echo on my side. If you are not getting an echo on your side, I will keep talking.
Yeah, we're hearing you okay.
Okay, very well. I really called to talk to you about something that the Deputy Governor said on Frontline with Tammy Suleiman, and something that Lord Graham said on the other show has to do with immigration. But let me chime in on the drug use. You know, Charles, I always feel that a lot of times we are creatures of our own times, in the sense that if you grow up in a society where they say you can't drink alcohol, it is bad, there is a way in which, even if later on something, well, I was really going to talk about a prohibition. People who grew up during the prohibition, they felt that, well, alcohol was terrible, it was delinquent, and some religions didn't also allow it. And then later on, when the drugs came on, they legalized alcohol, but they are still raising the same arguments in relation to drugs, which they used to raise in relation to alcohol. You see, and what I would urge people is to divorce themselves from the certain illogical things they grew up on and try to look at something logical. You know, in Portugal, I understand that they have decriminalized all drugs.
Yeah.
Including cocaine and heroin and so on. And they have found that when people are given a place, you come to rehab, we will give you cocaine and you will take it. We will not starve you, but you have to keep going into a program until in the end you are weaned off it. People have been ready to do that, and the amount of drug consumption has gone down. And people who were otherwise lying on the street today are being very productive. I personally believe, on that reasoning, that even all these hard drugs, in my view, should be not just decriminalized, but they should be legalized. Because when you say, well, okay, marijuana, we are going to decriminalize it, you can take it, but if we catch you, you won't get a record. To me, that sounds artificial. You are already accepting that people want to take these drugs, but instead of just coming out, going the whole hog and saying we are going to legalize it, you are now artificially saying, okay, we disapprove of it, but only a little bit. Okay. Look at the people in South America, for example. They are killing each other so that they can get drugs to Europe and to the United States. Why? Because half the people in the United States either take drugs or have taken drugs before. And when it gets to a point where about half to maybe a majority of people have used drugs or use drugs regularly, then it means you are fighting the trend in society which you cannot stop. And if they can just accept that, well, look, this is not something we will always agree, there's no perfect solution, but I don't see why some people should be going to jail for 20, 30 years when some surveys have shown that half the members of Congress use drugs. That's my view about that. Anyway, about this immigration thing. As usual, I'm interested in this because I've got a dog in the fight. I came to Cayman. I was encouraged to come on because they said, well, what can you contribute? I told them what I would contribute. But in the end, I've been unable, I think, to contribute most of that. Why? Because I think because Caymanians basically are not in charge of the government and the economy. So that's why I'm interested in this. But going to the issue itself, the DG confirmed on Frontline with Tammy Suleiman about 3 weeks ago. If you go to that video, you will find this little bit on about section 20, about minute 25 to 27. Basically, he says basically that these new measures, about 9 years for PR, 20 years for status, will not apply to people in the government. So the original understanding that people had, which was like, well, the only people who will be grandfathered in are the people who are going for judicial review or appealing. That's not correct. He has now clarified that the people to be grandfathered in include people in government. Okay. Now, Lord Graham was asking on the other show, why have you done that? So it is still an issue. And the response from Mr. Roy Tatum, who was on the show, was, well, this is not the first time this issue has arisen. A previous governor had said that if we enact something that will be all-encompassing in government, then the governor will not assent to the bill. Now, I'm not even quite sure that that is correct. If it was in fact said, then I think what government should have done is they should have taken proper legal advice. That legal advice would have told them that legally speaking they can do it. And then they should have put the governor in a position, call his bluff, and tell him, if you don't want to assent to it, you tell us. That way you can highlight the issue to show that this is what people have been concerned about.
And I need you to wrap it up, get to your final point, because I'm running out of time.
Okay, very well. Yeah, so that was the issue. But anyway, just to wrap it up, to wrap it up, the new issues which they have brought in, the first time they will be biting, for starters, it will be in 2046, and for PR, it will be 2045. Let me leave it there. We'll continue to another time.
All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. I got to take a little break. We'll be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hey, K-Man, we know you love driving, but not sitting in traffic. This Ash Wednesday, skip the bumper to bumper and take the Agriculture Show Park and Ride. Park easy, hop on, and let someone else do the driving straight to the grounds. Shuttles will run continuously from 4 locations all day. Follow Cayman Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram for all the details.
The annual Agriculture Show is hosted by the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society and the Ministry of Agriculture, and is sponsored by the Department of Agriculture, Pepsi, Quality Feed, Ale Thompson's, Terra Vegetation and Maintenance, and Radio Cayman.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her J and money transfer card. It cost me less. And props, she use a card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman. I remember as a kid listening to the children's program, the lady would ask, "Do you know what the sound is?" And as a kid, I would say out loud, "It's a trumpet." And in response, on Radio Cayman, the lady would say, "Of course, it's a trumpet." And I was so amazed that the radio could hear me. And this is one of the most favorite childhood memory that I have. Thank you for keeping us entertained, and we love you.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and a WhatsApp message in response to the culling the chickens says, "How about catching and raising the chickens? That's food." And we've heard from some callers that, yeah, they do catch the chickens and put them in the kitchen. We have a caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, Charlotte, Dominic Ebanks here. How you doing?
All right. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, again, always good to contribute. It was certainly nice listening to the callers and their contributions as well, and especially your last caller highlighting certain things about, decisions that are being made at the end of the day that will certainly fall against, us Caymanians, right? And when you look at, or, see who those decisions are being made from, is being made, obviously from your own Caymanian is what he was referring to just now, decision that is not in the best interest for us, right? And it would have been better off to have challenged any, backdoor conversation because, obviously there's a table. We live in a democratic society. I mean, right now it's those things we talk about, legalizing cannabis or gambling, even to get it, want it decriminalized or legalized, that still takes a lot of work and stuff in a democratic society because it isn't a place where one person makes a decision, right?
Yeah,
you have to have a bunch of people agreeing on the same thing. And again, here is a situation where we're talking about people just because they are employed by government, they might have contributed 40 years of their life, right? We see in our financial sector where money flowing back to other islands have actually financial sector for those islands over there from Cayman, right? And when you look at what's being taxed on those monies going back, at the end of the day, Cayman isn't really benefiting enough from it. Your contribution here as my worker really isn't, you get paid more than you really contributing at the end of the day, because that's what we do here. That's why those index you spoke about could speak about they'll have extra money to spend, right? Because they're not talking about the poor guy down at the road thinking about in his pension or anything here. They're talking about those indexes are focused on what we would call Cayman's middle class. Who used to be middle class are probably poor right now. And who used to be sort of rich, well, they're the new middle class. We have gone to where Donald Trump is trying to take America out of a reflection in China, where the China poor people became middle class and the middle class became extremely rich and so forth, right? And you saw another economy fall for that. And right now in Cayman, we can see the same thing. If you look at a few of these other Caribbean islands and you start to track where the money is flowing back from work and other stuff and the benefits that they're getting, a lot of it comes from the Cayman Islands, and at the end of the day, we aren't chipping enough off the block because we're allowing them to even progress, not fast as us, but faster than us off our back. So we're like the stepping stone at the end of the day. But then they're making people grandfathered into a system like becoming more Caymanians. It just takes away bonuses. I mean, I know people right now, they're waiting on a day for Cayman population to hit 100,000, right? So that your business could finally do good. But we've let in more people and let them open up more and more businesses and compete against us. And it just didn't work out because more people run these businesses than Caymanians right now. So that is the downfall.
You mean running their own? They're running their own business.
Well, when you think about it, if you when you go down to go and get your business license, if you go on foot instead of online, a lot of these businesses are from new Caymanians that are being created. This isn't from the Caymanians that are indigenous here that are all of a sudden creating businesses. You got new people coming in and opening the same businesses that other people had or dreamed to have opened because somebody else is now taking your opportunity because they have become Caymanian. Their children and their children will take from your children, and your children will have nothing. And
Well, you have another situation too where people come here on a work permit and they link up with a Caymanian or someone from their own country who has now gained status. Are you still there? Oh, we lost him. Dominic, I think you need to call back. Somehow we lost the connection, but what I was saying was not only that the person who has come in here now has the status to go and years later after arriving here form a business, but people come on a work permit and 2 years later they're linked up with someone and they've got a business partner who has Cayman status, and now they're in business also. So we face that kind of situation. It has gotten really complicated as far as the competition in Cayman, and now who is going to be a Caymanian? Here we have this situation where they're saying that people in government would be grandfathered in. I was just looking at something here about the possibility of what was projected to be a surplus for this fiscal year for the government. What is going to happen if these fees that we see a story on that government was reconsidering some of the fees that they had announced in the new budget, and some of those are fees that are contained in the Immigration Act. What will be the extent of that budget? Is it that surplus is going to be erased because it wasn't that much of a margin of a surplus to begin with, so that if you adjust those fees downwards or take them away altogether, there's not much room left there for any kind of surplus. So we heard about for non-Caymanians, the driver's license costing $600, and that of course is not going to be something that's every year because the driver's license itself is for multiple years, right? But there are other fees involved that they would be looking at. So what happens to the budget? It's it was from what I'm seeing here, it was the surplus prediction for 2026 was less than $7 million. So you don't have much room to play with as far as reducing fees and at the same time trying to maintain some kind of surplus, But I guess even if you can come out with $1 million left over, it would be better than being in a deficit. But with the news that they are reconsidering some of the fees, certainly that well, actually less than $7 million looks to be under threat of being reduced, if not completely erased. Well, it is coming up here on 2 o'clock, And that means let's check in with the newsroom and find out what is making news.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, on right.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce is rolling out 3 new professional development courses led by long-term chamber facilitator and personal and business coach Lorna Murphy. 2 additions to the Essentials of Leadership series will focus on delegation, time management, effective meetings, performance reviews, and mental health awareness, while a new standalone workshop called You've Got the Job, Now What? Is tailored to help early career professionals navigate today's workplace. Registration for all 3 courses is now open at caymanchamber.ky and spaces are limited. More information is available from Chamber Training and Events Coordinator Emily Sintorn at 743-9126 or emily.sintorn at caymanchamber.ky. In international news, major U.S. film and TV studios are demanding that TikTok owner ByteDance rein in its new C-Dance 2.0 artificial intelligence video generator, saying it's ripping off copyrighted movies and shows. The Motion Picture Association says the tool has produced ultra-realistic scenes using famous actors and hits like Lord of the Rings and Breaking Bad without permission, while ByteDance says the viral clips came from limited pre-launch tests and it is tightening safeguards. TikTok's growing data tracking reach is also fueling fresh privacy concerns, adding a second front to the backlash from movie companies it's already facing. A BBC investigation has found that TikTok's updated Pixel tracker, embedded in thousands of other websites, can quietly collect highly sensitive details, including information about cancer, fertility, and mental health, even from people who have never used the app, prompting experts to describe the system as, quote, extremely invasive. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and quick weather update. Temperature in Georgetown, 79 degrees, and winds at about 12 knots out of the east-northeast. Humidity 64% rather. And the forecast, cloudy skies this afternoon, but fair skies tonight. And we're looking at winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 knots and moderate seas, wave heights at 3 to 5 feet. And oh my, the weather radar is down again, it looks like, or at least it's saying it's unavailable. Radar problems. And I don't know if did you hear that story in the headlines there about the movie companies complaining to TikTok about, AI ripping off scenes from legitimate movies and manipulating them, and even having the stars that are in those movies and making their own clip. Video used to be like the thing that you could believe. Here, we have the video, right? if you read something, you took it at face value, like, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But video is stuff, hey, we got the video. Here's what it looks like. But man, since this AI development, since the dawn of that, you see something online, you don't know whether it's true or not. Even if it's a video, it can be manipulated. And what, a year ago or so, there were some telltale signs that the video had been manipulated. But boy, currently, you see a video and it could be AI generated, and it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. And let me tell you, that's some dangerous stuff, because in the wrong hands, someone can be depicted to be doing something that is totally out of character for them, something that they would never do. And that was the subject of this conference that they just had here, where the name was the AI tsunami, and people spoke on all aspects of it. And of course, used correctly, AI can be, a great thing. Can help in healthcare. Can probably collect the data and make a diagnosis much quicker than a human mind could calculate and analyze something and come up with a diagnosis. There's great hope for the things that could be done in the area of healthcare. But it always seems that something good can be used for something bad also. And it doesn't take long for the wrong people to get a hold of it and start misusing it. And already AI is hit that mark. So you always have to be careful about what you see and whether to believe it or not. And I don't know if it's going to get any better. It's like in that story, TikTok was saying that they were tightening up on what they allow on and so forth. But it's detecting it in the first place I think is the problem. One of the questions around Cayman right now is concerning the government's preparation for the possibility of a surge of Cuban migrants coming to our shores. And I was looking at the CNS here, where they let me just read it here. On Wednesday afternoon, the CIG, Cayman Islands government, issued a press release which said that as part of the contingency planning, 8 acres of land in Fairbanks had been cleared to allow the deployment of temporary better shelter units at short notice if required. However, they recalled the press release and issued a new one in the evening in which all reference to the camp was removed. While officials at the Ministry of Home Affairs have long spoken about the need for a purpose-built detention and processing center to handle irregular immigrants. I love that term, though. That's the new term. To handle irregular migrants, that project is yet to be confirmed. Maybe someone just made a mistake there and put the wrong thing in the press release, right? But obviously the plan is on the table, if even the person writing the press release had knowledge of it. But yeah, that's something that we have to be prepared for because the situation doesn't seem to be getting any better over there in Cuba. And if we're caught with our pants down, well, the situation could get out of hand real quick. Because you got 1,000 or more people descending on our shores, we're going to have to be able to take action real quick. So the fact that the government has moved to make contingency plans is a good thing. And whether they're going to have a new detention center, well, I guess that is a possibility. So we're down into the last 20 minutes, 19 minutes of the show. So if you want to get in on the conversation here, give us a call, 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo. And other numbers, 949-8037, also 949-6990, or WhatsApp us, 925-3261. And we do have a caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Charles.
Hi. How are you doing?
All right. Am I hearing you right? We're going to have a consultation on a couple of the things that were in the referendum that have been voted.
That's what it's
positive. So we had a consultation to have the referendum, if I believe we did, and now our elected representatives, or whoever it is,
the Law Reform Commission.
But how can they give us that when the instructions are there for the Parliament to carry out what the people's wishes were?
I thought of that.
It's an advisory thing. Why are we running the government by referendum and consultation? It means that the representatives would be putting aside their, because they make the Law Reform Commission. They can give them some advice, which I'm sure they had advice on. They have lots of legal brains there in the government themselves and in the civil service. Why are we consulting on something that we consulted on to have a referendum, and then we're consulting on it again? The gambling thing, for instance,
Mickey, what my mind goes to, because like you said, it passed in the referendum, right? So the only thing I can think that they are consulting about is, well, then, if it's going to be, a minor charge, what will that consist of? What kind of penalty will there be?
God. To listen to this, it doesn't seem real. When you listen and they follow some of these things, they ask me what was the point of having a referendum. I told them that their guess, as I tell them, is as good as mine. I understand nothing of how the system works anymore. We gambling law, so we'd have to pass a gambling law first, I imagine.
Yeah.
But then we have raffles, and raffles are gambling. When will people get that through their heads? It's gambling. You're gambling when you buy a raffle ticket. You're gambling. I say it without any fear of contradiction. You are gambling. That's what you are. You're buying a number, then you're gambling. So the guy who goes down the road and buys what we call legal numbers or something, 90% of his evil is buying it. Millions of dollars are spent here a week. You don't have to believe me, can ask others. But we're gambling. But we don't have a gambling law. We're going to have this. We're going to consult on something that was consulted on to do. Why do we bother? Sometimes I wonder why we bother to have elections. If you got to go to the people and ask them, what should you do in Parliament? You have 19 people chosen by the people there. That's what you do. You make those decisions. You already had the consultation. You already had a referendum, which is advisory, which is what the district councils in another facet of it will do, advisory only, so they say. And then we're having a consultation. But it just doesn't make sense. Decide it. Decide what you want to do. Otherwise, why not just do away with the elections? Let Great Britain run the country on the direct rule, and the governor here runs it by edict or what it is. And that is another thing. We need to explain to our people the exact situation that we're under. Direct rule is possible for us, and running the country. We should explain to our people what that would mean. I hear no one trying to explain it, and it's an important thing as far as I'm concerned, because there's a possibility it could happen. Why don't we know these things? Why are we on a consulted facet of the government aspect of what we did, consulting again? Is it that elected representatives don't want to say, well, I didn't say this, you all said it? You understand what I'm driving at, Charlo?
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as finances are concerned, if we don't stay within the bounds of, Fiscal Responsibility Act, was it? I can't remember the full title of it, but it's something with fiscal responsibility. If we don't stay within those bounds, UK will do it for us. So that's an example of direct rule right there.
One was like Turks and Caicos, some kind of corruption in the government.
Oh, yeah, like that, yeah.
And yes. And we have banks that they do
have a
what
parliament
they please. Yes. I don't understand it. I mean, this escapes all logic, in my opinion. I give my opinion, unlike the other people that never tell you their opinion only because I heard callers, but they didn't say this opinion. Thank you so very much, Charlotte, for listening to me.
Thanks for the call. Got to take a break. I'll be right back.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
System 1 loaded. For the record, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 9:30, we interview the various government ministers, opposition, and Cayman Island legislators. For the record is brought to you by West Bay Pharmacy at Centennial Towers. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. Everything you need and the hours you need it at West Bay Pharmacy.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands, this is Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay.
Welcome back. A WhatsApp message here real quick. Hello, Charles. The tax man has been relentless in his campaign, with which I agree. Without an established tax regime, we will be unable to continue to fund the government. We also had a man who used to call every day with "fix the dump." Now I'm starting mine. Annual property fees on ultra-luxury properties Everything above $3 million must pay a property fee to the government. I would suggest starting at 3% per annum. I understand Mickey's concern. This system of rule by consultation and referendum, very simply put, is spineless representatives who are unwilling to take responsibility for governing the country. I got a few calls on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
Not too bad. I really have to, when I was listening to Mr. Mickey just now, I had to laugh because throughout the entire time, I'd say maybe 20 years, 15 years, I have not seen anyone just willing to make a decision showing competency from a ministerial perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And that says a lot about the ministers because let's look at our neighbors. Next, Mr. Mickey, I'm sure, is very fond and knowledgeable to the history of Jamaica. You don't have to do referendum, and that's what's been happening. Everything is a referendum. You can't make a pitch to your real and present it and say, this is what is happening. This is how we're going to do it. You don't get riots in Cayman, neither do you get riots in Jamaica. You don't get riots in the Caribbean really. It's either or either. They just don't want to make the decision, whether it be education, whether it be transportation. That competency, no one has those ideas, those bursting ideas that you promised us in the election to put forth or to manage amongst each other. 19-person round table conversation that the government should take lead. I had to laugh. I'm like, wow, he just took it. I've been saying it forever. It's impossible. You can't run a country on referendum only. You have to have ideas as a minister, whichever way. So what they're fulfilling now probably was already put in pathway almost 20 years ago, 15 maybe. So it's not a new idea. We need new ideas, I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your input.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let me see if I can get a couple more callers in here. We've only got about 8.5 minutes left. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Simon. Sorry I'm being too long.
I'm having trouble hearing you. I don't know. Are you on speakerphone?
Oh, that cool. I don't know why.
Okay, that's better now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I say Mr. McKin makes a lot of sense. People should listen to him more often. I've been saying that for years too. Election is a waste of time. That's just for us to pretend that we got freedom. That's all that is. Because the governor himself could run or herself could run the island with three more workers who like it. They don't like it because our politicians over the last 30 or 40 years they've not been doing an impressive job at all. And we the people too, voting for who we've been voting for. But I never really call for that. Tell me something. What besides them? What's stopping them from making it is just they just not got the baloness to do what they gotta do. That's simple as that. They're afraid to do what they gotta do to make a decision. What is stopping us from saying no to this Cuban invasion that we may be expecting? They don't see what happened with the situations now that we got with the Cubans over the last 10 years, and they now is cleaning out the land, putting aside, and I hear how much money they can put aside now to feed and shelter them if we do have a mass invasion from them. So what use a smart man, Mr. Chapel. What would it take for us to say, no, we don't want these Cubans here.
Have some kind of humanitarian obligation, that we just can't just let them sit out there and sink in the Caribbean Sea. So there is that obligation to take care of them, that no harm comes to them, but neither can we enable them to continue on their journey wherever they're going, because that's assisting illegal immigration. So the thing that has been done is to help them, rescue them, because a lot of times they've run out of gas, they've run out of food, so you rescue them and then repatriate them to Cuba. But you can't just let them sit out there and die, drowned, or their ships sink. So there's a humanitarian obligation.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, did you hear me?
Yeah. So we got to do all that now at our expense. So there isn't a humanitarian fund or something that could help us do all that. We got to do that at the Cayman Island people.
I don't know whether the UK would help out or not. They got their own immigration problems over there. People coming across the channel.
My point exactly. So if the UK not willing to step in, but they're telling us that we got an international obligation, they're not willing to give $1 to help it. There's no organization out there willing to give $1 to help fund to house and take care of these immigrants. Then I don't see where that's fair. I don't care who say. I would go to the United Nations and explain my case.
Well, the United Nations might be the very ones who set that standard, that humanitarian obligation.
But you could still voice your opinion, because there's no money. There's no money in Cayman to do it. Why we the richest country in the world, or?
Well, that's how they look at it.
Voice their opinion on the international
they see us as a wealthy place.
The people hear what they're saying. Well,
listen, I hear what you're saying, and I got another caller, and I got about 3 minutes. I got to get some more people in here, but thank you for raising that point.
Man, we need a referendum on that. That's what we need a referendum on.
Have a good afternoon.
All right.
Let's see if we can get another call or two in here. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up? Make it quick.
Yeah, man. I was reading an article on Cuba last night. It's really that last week campus, I think it was in. It's really bad over there now, man. Because I know when I used to go over there, you would have a power cut for maybe 1 or 2 hours, and it would come back on. But you're looking at all 40 hours now. If it comes back on, it's really terrible out there now, man.
Well, that's why we're making contingency plans.
But like I said, Chalo, I can pass a comment on that, but that's nothing but trouble for us.
Yeah,
if we're under obligation to do it, I guess there's no way out. Do expect no help from England, because they're under pressure with that now too.
All right, you take.
Anyway,
you have a
good
one.
Weekend, man. Have a good weekend, you and Susan, man.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, man.
Let me see if I can get a couple of WhatsApp messages in here. Going back to the referendum and what Mickey was talking about, this person is saying, that's rubbish. Many countries hold referendums, including America and the UK. Some decisions are bigger than the parliament. It is a tool of democracies, and the majority wins. Nothing more, nothing less. And you must remember, when we never used to really have referendums, but there was a movement here for people to be able to put a referendum on, the table for people to go and vote for. There was, a lot of people were pushing for that, and that's why you have a people's referendum, which is binding Right. Yeah. The people's referendum is binding, but a government referendum is not necessarily binding, right? So a lot of people wanted that, and I know it's not necessarily the government using that as a cop-out for taking a decision. So at one time, it was a big push for that. Well, it is 2:30. Okay, a short voice note before we go. Go, Susan.
I agree with you, Mickey. That's right. Buying a raffle ticket, that is part of gambling. So I don't know why our people can't get that through their heads, like you said.
Okay, that's the last word. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Valentine's Day with your lover and, make it a romantic one. I'm Charles Glidden. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Shaken yet standing.